Holy fuck, I can't believe this channel. I'm only 2 minutes into the video you're watching now, but I've watched like 40 videos on this guy's channel. I fell asleep watching some of these earlier. Like, this is everything we ever talk about from the Muslim perspective. It's fucking crazy, and it's worth hearing. Him talking about these DMT aliens and shit. Apparently, apparently, someone is distributing DMT in a pill form in Saudi Arabia. Wonder who could be doing that. And this video that you're linked to, 2 minutes in, he says that it has a 75% death rate. Okay, so DMT is an endogenous chemical to your brain. There's no way to overdose on it. There's no way to do too much of it. Like, the only person that I've ever heard of that did too much DMT, the entities that he encountered in the other dimension sat him down and told him that he needed to go back to Earth. that's the dangerous part of DMT. Like, eventually the space aliens are going to sit you down and say you need to go handle your life or you're going to die. There's nothing. It's like the least dangerous drug in the world, probably. Like, I guess you could do research on or something. Maybe that's debatable. But like, I've learned about this shit since high school. Like, I was into anthropology. DMT is a thing that's like smoked or drinking all over the planet. And the only reason I can think of that the mysterious Middle East people would be telling people that DMT is poisonous is because they work for the Saudis. And the Saudis would really like to keep everybody else there down in their like shithole. Like, they don't want everyone knowing this shit. In fact, I think there's a reasonable percentage of the population here in America that don't want people knowing some of the shit that I talk about on a regular basis. I think I'm getting pretty close to the fucking truth. I think, honestly, we're getting really close to where the truth is just going to be revealed to everyone all at once. That's what I feel. I think everyone is doing what I'm doing. At least, maybe all the crazy people that don't have anything else to do, maybe, or those of us that are obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with this. I've always been obsessed with this. And that is the ancient civilization, ancient alien thing. I was never so much into like chasing UFOs and that kind of shit. I was always more into the archaeology of it. And basically, the reason I'm not an archaeologist now is because I ran into the stupidest motherfuckers in the world that were professors of archaeology with degrees from Yale. I'm like, okay, so that's not worth the paper it's printed on. That's fun. Anyway, uh, this channel is insane. I don't even know where to start on it, but he brings up lots of shit that we don't talk about because it's stuff they don't want us to know about. This is what you should be watching to figure shit out. Now, there's a lot of bullshit mixed into this channel. That's any of this stuff. That's anything relating to picking out truth from Bronze Age myths. There's going to be some woo and there's going to be some bullshit. The thing you need to wrap your head around is that some of the bullshit is true and some of the woo is not woo. I'm I'm starting to believe that there's a lot more about King Solomon than we ever knew. I think a lot of that was lost to us by the Roman era. I think the Romans didn't want to hear it, and when Rome collapsed, the people in Rome that did know about it died or got folded into the Catholic Church. Which, honestly, there's a lot of secrets buried in the Catholic Church. You want to know some Catholic Church secret shit? Go watch this channel. He's going to talk a lot about a lot of their secrets. And that's the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure that the Catholic Church has been making deals with demons since the Middle Ages. And I'm not sure exactly what a demon is. I think a demon is just some sort of interdimensional entity. But apparently, in one of these videos, he's talking about King Solomon having a ring that was given to him by God that allowed him to control the demons. And that's one of those things that, like, wonder where that's tucked away. Talk about some shit they might have found under the fucking Temple of Solomon. I don't know. But you should definitely go watch this channel. I'm trying to, like, bring you guys along for this while I figure this shit out for myself. And maybe this helps you somehow go figure it out for yourself. I don't think this is a thing anyone can tell you. It's a thing that, like, you have to go figure out a way that you believe it for yourself. And man, go watch those Joe Rogan videos that they don't want you to watch. Go watch all this fucking ancient alien shit from the Middle East too. And the other thing is, go watch all the ancient alien stuff. Like, not all of it is on the money, but a good part of it is shit that is just like, yep, that's a thing. Yep, that's a thing. You could watch that show and just start building a fucking tack board of things. Like, get a fucking, like, bunch of note cards and pictures and string and shit, and, you know, go nuts. This is one of the most complex conspiracy theories I've ever heard. I think this one's pretty damn right on the money. This has it all. This is, you know, one thing that explains most of what we've seen. I'm working on explaining Kennedy right now. I know who killed him. I pretty much know why. The thing with that is he was killed by the CIA, and he was killed 100% to keep this shit under wraps. I think he got elected into power saying some shit that he wasn't, kind of like secret society wise. And once he got the keys to the kingdom, he went a little cowboy. That's what I think. I think he started doing shit that was going to cause major issues for us in some way. And then he was blocking things that they wanted to do in the world, so they shot him. And the whole Lee Harvey Oswald fucking Jack Ruby thing is pretty obvious if you think about it. Lee Harvey Oswald was pretty obviously sheep-tipped. He was pretty obviously on some black op in Russia for a while, and whenever his cover got blown, they decided to fucking use him as an expendable asset because he knew how to use a rifle, and they figured there was probably a pretty good chance whoever was doing this was going to get caught. And then I think on top of that, they had Secret Service people shooting him in the back of the head with an M16 on top of everything else. Anyway, the thing I don't understand about the Kennedy assassination is, was it that he was going to reveal the conspiracy? Or was it that he didn't know about the conspiracy and was making political decisions based on his heart and his head, and his heart and his head didn't know this? And, you know, he made one or two things that, you know, it couldn't go that way again. And the opportunity was made available and it was taken. That's what I think. The other thing I think I found out is the name of God. If anyone wants to know that, I think there's a bunch of names of God, but the oldest one that I can find is An or Anu. That's what the Sumerians called him. And that's assuming a lot. Like, that might not, maybe that's not God. Maybe that's just their chief fucking alien or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that our God from the Bible isn't one of these that, you know, got sick and tired of doing shit and went for an adventure. Something like that. Either that or, if we are in some big multi-dimensional universe and psychic abilities are a thing, maybe they start to manifest in people, and they're praying to God, and something in the universe just hears someone in trouble. I don't know. It's hard to tell. What I do know is it seems like everything is Satan, if I had to guess. I think that's caused by there being multiple entities, and them calling each other Satan, and then that getting confused around for a while, and then a bunch of religious wars happening because, you know, uh, basically because there's strife in the world and people are going to take advantage of it. And by people, I mean governments, both on a state and local level, and even like a federal government or whatever, but like governments on a galactic level will take advantage of this shit. For whatever reason, I think there's like proxy wars going on here. I think this is the thing that no one's talking about, is that there are rules to the proxy wars, and I think the aliens said no nukes. But the proxy wars decide shit, and like they want their wars for whatever reason, which makes me think at least one of these gods that's still around is probably Ares. Although there's a pretty reasonable, you know, case to be made that our god is the god of war as well. I do think it's very interesting also that like there's this whole transgender bent on it that I found, that like basically one of the Greek gods got his balls cut off and fell out of history, and then a goddess showed up that was born out of his testicles. And like Pisces, the constellation in the sky, is supposed to be two fish on a rope or something, and I swear to God, it's fucking Uranus's testicles. And like the god he came back as was Aphrodite, and there's all sorts of Aphrodite cults because everybody likes fucking. I'm not entirely sure what's up with that, but if you take the myth at face value, some shit happened, and a dude ended up a chick, and now there's like cults devoted to him. I'd really like to know what's up with that, and why they seem to be spreading that cult to our youth. Also, I'm pretty sure that a lot of what's going on with the unborn fetuses and shit and keeping them alive, they're sacrificing living children to an alien god in the best way that they can. So the best way to do this is to, have a bunch of abortions, because the idea of throwing 4-year-olds into a fire is, it's a bad image now. You don't want that. But that's why Bohemian Grove had that fucking Molech statue. Go look into the Sumerian or Mesopotamian, really, god Baal. Baal. Uh, that's who they're worshiping there when they're doing the Molech thing. Molech is just another name for Baal. And like this is a lot of like the weird pseudoscience religious crap that apparently I've been studying my whole life because it's going to be important. I don't know. Or maybe none of this matters. But it seems like this answers a good deal of what's going on in the world to me. I can't really explain everything, but like one of the big ones is that the Romans said that Odin was Mercury, and Mercury is their name for Hermes. Hermes is a very interesting character, especially because his name comes from the term Hermes, which means piled stones, which makes me think of pyramids. And Hermes went by a whole bunch of other names, but the ones that I found interesting were Quetzalcoatl, Odin, Pan, Hermes, Thoth, and Enki. Enki is his Sumerian name. And I'm kind of going with the conclusion that like the oldest shit that we have is probably the most accurate, despite it being, myth and told by oral tradition and shit. Because whatever this is hidden from us, and like the only way to pick it out now is by pulling it out of fucking old myths and shit and half-told legends and stories and shit. And all of this stuff really makes me wonder about Tolkien. Tolkien knew more about myth than any fucking motherfucker in history, and he wrote The Lord of the Rings to be our modern myth. And I swear to God that like that's the story of World War II, what really happened in the realm of the gods while World War II went on below. There was some sort of big shakeup, and like there's a lot of fluff in that story, right? But what's the key thing? The key thing is that the White Wizard betrayed everybody. A less powerful wizard died, took his place, and then killed him. And like, who are the wizards? Who are the gods? Is Enki one of the wizards, or is he one of the gods? Like, this is my thing, is like, I think he very well could have been a wizard, basically. Some sort of Atlantean, maybe, that survived the fall of Atlantis. I think that's what all of these are. I think in Atlantis they had advanced vehicles, and some of these guys went off into space to do whatever fucking space stuff, and some stayed here. The ones that stayed here decided to, stick around and enjoy the joint, I guess. You know, fuck the locals, eat and drink and do whatever, go from civilization to civilization, using it up, and then go to the next one. I think that's why the Soviet Union was allowed to collapse in the way it was. We had to let them think that it worked or some shit. But like, the compassion of the world saved them. In reality, I think all of this is we're building a fleet of spaceships to fight these things. That's what I think. And I think that's what a lot of this whole like secrecy bullshit is. And I think in reality, that's about to get used against us. I think Captain America Winter Soldier, when the Nazis turned, like, we built all these bitchin' fucking helicarriers or whatever, right? Or we're about to. You've seen some of the projects that they're talking about working on in the civilian world. It's pretty clear that, like, at some level, I think a lot of Hollywood movies from our childhood, including all the Marvel movies and shit, if you count those in your childhood, they're to prepare you for this. There's something coming, and there's going to be a massive jump in technology overnight. We are overnight going to go from where we are now to Star Trek at some point, and they're trying to get everybody ready. I think that's really what half of this is. And maybe that's kind of hopeful. That's like some G-Web's hopeful future stuff, but I don't know. I do have some faith that there is a God that loves us because we're still here. And as such, I think my God wants me to, you know, keep believing what I believe, stay armed, stay focused on spreading love and joy, and apparently hunting down Satanists. What it's looking like. Some sort of shit like that. Really makes me wonder if there is Satan. Like, in the Jewish concept of it, he didn't exist. And then it's added later. And I think what happened was one of these gods fell out of favor of the other gods and comes in and out, but they're not liked. And that's kind of why we have this like Satan figure. It's like a Hades. I think Hades is a much more accurate depiction of Satan. He has a place that he rules or whatever, and he's stuck there. If he exists at all, he could just be a thing made up to confuse people. Like that's the thing is if there's multiple of these gods and they're calling the other one Satan all the time, who do you know which is which? My bet is it's neither. My bet is if you really want to go look for a pure path, go look at Buddha. And I think there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now that is a war between these things and the Buddhists in a lot of ways. Like this whole like pacifism, we don't do anything, you could just come and kill us if you want movement. There's that, and then there's like this warmongering sacrifice your babies to Molech one. At least that's how I see it. I see all of the world's religions other than Buddhism really connected into this. And the only reason I leave out Buddhism and maybe like Hinduism or something like that, and like whatever the Aborigines believe, is just they haven't been co opted. They're so fucking old. Like there's no way for these people to get their hooks into them. I think that's really, either that or like they have their own gods. I think that's also very likely. I think there's various groups on this planet that have their own patron saint, so to speak, of an alien that, it's something that has come and helped that tribe since the dawn of time. They come down and they give them some medicine and they, hold their babies and whatever, and they go back in their ship and they leave. This is like what the Aborigines say they do. Wouldn't it be nice to have that relationship instead of the one where we all just like slave ourselves to death so that they can have fucking gold and baby jizz or whatever the fuck it is they want? I don't fucking even know anymore. Like there's nothing good about any of this. I'm going to keep trying to explain what I've found. I made a like timeline chart thing and I put a couple versions of it on Discord and I tried making a video talking through that, and there's no way to do that. I need to make a version of that I need to make a 2.0 of that that's like bullet points or something that I can just go through for the video. It really helped just to draw out some sort of like half-assed fucking timeline. I think I'm going to start making a bigger and bigger one of those. It's not like, oh, I know everything. It's I'm really good at telling bullshit from real shit when it comes to myth and archaeology and religion because that's what my education was in. So that plus a lot of common sense shit that you get blacksmithing, I'm going to put all that to use on figuring this out. And I think I'm going to write this into a book. And it's going to be a short book. It's going to be like 41 paragraph essays or 1 page essays or something on these various things. It would be like the book the president should read. I don't know when this will come out. I'm going to have to start getting more of this on paper. And it's like, this is just a guess, but I'm a pretty damn good guesser. I I once I once guessed right at hands of blackjack until I had $20,000. Pretty good guesser. It's one of those things that, like, at a certain point, I'm starting to believe that, like, I have the ability to see this shit for a reason, and that anyone listening to me that's getting this from me, there's a reason that you're supposed to hear this too. Maybe it's because we're supposed to be some of the ones that are supposed to do something about this or survive, or I don't know. I am consumed with the mystery and I'm kind of an oracle as a result. Like, I can tell you what's going on, but I can't really do anything about it. At least not obviously. And that's like half the thing with this is the thing that you would be opposing would be everyone. I really, really, really want to talk to those people in Afghanistan that we were fighting. My guess is that there's a lot more to that Afghanistan conflict than what we know. By a metric shit ton because of the part of the world it's in and because of the nature of the shit that's happened in this world over the last 35,000 years. That's when I'm tracing the start of civilization back to now 36,000 years ago. I don't know that that's really it. It could be older. For all I know, we were riding on the backs of dinosaurs like cowboys while flying saucers shot at us. I kind of doubt that though, but I think it's pretty safe to bet that we have had a civilization on this planet at roughly a Bronze Age level of technology to a space age level of technology. We've had that on this planet for roughly 36,000 years. And I think there's been a whole bunch of different Bronze Age ones. I think like this whole thing is like an incubator to see what civilization pops up here. Like there's rules, maybe they're allowed to do certain things here, and they're allowed to have fun here based on at what stage in development we are at, maybe. And I think a lot of what we're doing right now is trying to get to the point where we're a type 1 civilization and they aren't allowed to come here anymore. My guess is that the reason they don't like the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan Buddhist monks is because whatever they're fucking doing to like continue this meditation and chant and whatever, that is keeping something at bay. Like go watch Doctor Strange and think like Doctor Strange. That's what I think of the Tibetan Buddhists. It's not like, oh, they have magic powers. It's that they don't know why they do what they do. Not exactly. Like some of them might, like at the higher level of it or whatever. There's probably somebody there that knows the magic. But like, this is the thing: is most of this stuff is borderline magic, and it's like, this noise is a thing that they don't like or whatever. It's like crazy shit like that. That's what you find when you start digging into this. It's like there's a whole bunch of things that they don't like. And high pitched noises are one of them. Cats are one of them. I don't know what else. I'll have to make a list of that. But definitely go watch that Middle East channel. That's the fucking craziest shit I've ever seen. I can't believe I found it almost immediately after fucking cracking this whole ancient aliens fucking thing. At least I think I've got it cracked for myself. I at least know that, yes, there have been at least 4 extraterrestrial gods on this planet who have been doing stuff back to the Bronze Age. And by extraterrestrial gods, what I mean is they could be men from Atlantis in spaceships. They could be gray Roswell aliens. They could be lizard men. They could be I don't fucking know. The one that I think is most likely is that there was an ancient civilization here that developed space travel, and that they still have shit in orbit to this day with full civilizations on it that we have no ability to detect. Think Asgard, basically, floating over us. You never know it's there. Well, on that thought, I'll leave you. See you guys later.